It's Fish at 6 on a TGIF. Thank God it's Fish Friday. I'm Mike Fisher, your trusty and trust reporter. This is the Fish Bowl. Getting ready for Monday Night Football. First of all, we're getting ready for Sunday football all day long. And then we'll have Monday Night Football, and I'll be there, of course, Cowboys hosting the Bengals. Cowboys, 2-game winning streak and trying to keep it going. I watch film, not so much, but it's one of those popular T-shirts, one of those popular items for Christmas in the Uncle Fish store. You can see the link below. Thank you to Broken Halo for that. Thank you to BetUS for helping us muscle up and bring you this presentation today. Cowboys coaching search. Now, understand, this works on the assumption that Mike McCarthy does not get renewed here, which I still find likely. I'll even tell you a little secret. I don't think the 2-game win streak has very much impact at all on what Jerry Jones is thinking about his head coach in 2025. And if you think logically about it, remove the emotion of it, and I'm not asking Dak to remove the emotion of supporting Mike McCarthy. I get that, and it's good. If the Commanders' kicker makes an extra point, we're not having this conversation. So you've created this plan, this blueprint, starting last February after the loss in the playoffs to the Packers. 9 months of planning. And you're going to change because of 9 seconds against the Commanders in a game in mid-November? No, you're not. Let's work on the assumption that there will be a head coaching change here. I'm going to give you the 2 fakes. I'm going to give you 2 reels. I'm also going to give thanks to BetUS, our partners here. Go to betus.com and use the promo code. I tell them the Fish sent you. Use the promo code YouTube150 and get your 150% discount there, up to $2,000 investment. Go invest in yourself at BetUS. Thank you, BetUS, for your partnership here. It's Jeremy Fowler again. And let me say in advance with the 2 names that I'm going to give you. One of them is a scoop. Let me say, I've got no agenda. I'm not friends with the agents. And you'll know what I mean here in a moment. I've just gathered the information. Okay? McCarthy's contract expires at the end of the year. He failed to secure that contract extension and shouldn't have gotten a contract extension. You lost $48 million to nothing. But look, here's a new 5-year contract. No owner would do that. The Cowboys, coaches and players on that fateful day screwed themselves. I think if they would have played the Packers again the next week, I think they would have beat them. I think the Cowboys were 7 points at home better than the Packers. Just not that one time, that one day, and it screwed up everything. And the next thing you know is you got lame duck, blow it up. I got Aikman endorsing in a one-on-one conversation the idea of McCarthy. We got Tom Brady endorsing him on national TV. We have Dak Prescott saying he deserves to come back. Of course, this is sports. There is no deserves. That's not how it works. If there was such a thing as deserves, Zach Martin would have won a Super Bowl. Just to use one, not to mention a whole bunch of other Cowboys and a whole bunch of other guys who played a long time at a high level on a lot of teams. Deserves is not the way this works. Jerry can say it's not crazy to think about bringing McCarthy back, and that's fine. The logical prediction would not have McCarthy coming back. The coaching carousel, the Cowboys coaching carousel, seems very likely to turn. So various media outlets are going to throw out their names. And all I wish that they and we would do is be transparent about it. I've given you 14 names. You can Google it. You can find it. We've done the Fish Report here on it. You can find it here on YouTube. You can find it at cowboyscountry.com. I have no agenda. Okay? I have no hidden agenda. If I say, here's a guy that I think the Cowboys should look at, and my reason is because I'm friends with him, I'm going to tell you that. I have no agenda. I just have whatever insight I can bring you after 35 years of being a beat writer on the Dallas Cowboys. But I do wonder about the agenda of others. Here comes ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler, and he's taken his stab at potential candidates who could take over in Dallas. Fowler gives you 3 names. 2 of them he labels as sleepers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Cohen and Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing. Diddly diddly dink. Drew Petzing. And no, I must say, and it's certainly possible that it's my fault that I overlooked the brilliance of Drew Petzing. It's possible. He was not on my 14-man list. Liam Cohen and Drew Petzing. Why? If you understand what Jones's Cowboys usually look for in a coach, you know why not. Cohen is 39. Has the Bucs scoring well. 28 points per game, top 5 in the NFL. Has no head coaching experience, has no Dallas connection. Those are the 2 things that the Joneses traditionally look for. We'll call it the Cowboys coaching tree and skins on the wall as an NFL coach. Look back at all the coaches that Jerry's ever hired. Look back at most of the coaches that Jerry's ever interviewed. They very rarely are interested in giving the young hotshot, if you want to consider Liam Cohen and Drew Petzing hotshots, giving the young hotshots who's never been a head coach before, who they don't even know. That's not how they do it here. Those are your hints to not write stories about how you think Drew Petzing might be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, if the Cowboys hire Drew Petzing, I'll write the hell out of it. That'd be something. Cohen, 39. Bucs can score. Petzing is 37. I think he's got the Cardinals like in the top 12 on offense. Is that a credential? Top 3 in scoring, whatever, that's a credential. Top 12 in offense? He has no head coaching experience. Cohen has no head coaching experience and no Dallas connection. Petzing, no head coaching experience, no Dallas connection, and he's been an offensive coordinator for 1 year, 1 full year. He'd never been an offensive coordinator before. And Jeremy Fowler wants him to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to again reiterate to you, should the Cowboys move on from McCarthy, the Dallas search, history and insight and sourcing tells me that the search will likely feature candidates with big-time NFL coaching experience and Cowboy coaching tree ties. Joneses should consider every possible concept. By the way, please do hit the like button. That tells the algorithms on YouTube the kind of Cowboy programming you want. You don't want videos and reports of people making up stories about people named Drew Petzing. You want the real thing, and I'm about to present to you exclusive, the real thing. Also, thank you for subscribing to what we do here. Tell a friend. Understand that we will soon, very soon for Christmas, give away the Drew Pearson autographed Cowboy jersey, I promise. You look at every name, even the ones you never heard of. They should look at every name. I would like to think that Stephen Jones knows who Drew Petzing is. Drew Petzing. Jerry Jones doesn't know who Drew Petzing is. I was sitting in Jerry's office 30 years ago. Literally. It was Jerry, me, and the late, great Marilyn Love. And he was trying to figure out how you say Norval Turner's first name. He'd never heard of him. Didn't know that he went by Norv. All he knew, he was an obscure assistant coach who had experience in that offensive system. He'd been mentored by Ernie Zampese, who of course later came here and replaced him. That's that Chargers offense, right? That's all that Jerry knew. Jimmy knew a little more. Norv Turner was like Jimmy's fifth choice for offensive coordinator. Gary Stevens, who had worked for him at Miami, that was his first choice. Then he felt like Gary Stevens screwed him. That was the end of that. So Jerry, literally is going through the Rams media guide going, so this is this Norval Turner. Now, who's he? How do you say his name? But they can learn. If Drew Petzing helps the Cardinals and they go to the Super Bowl, everybody's going to want to interview Drew Petzing. But for ESPN to suggest that the Cowboys, or to even urge the Cowboys, hey, get in there and interview Cohen and Petzing, somebody's water carrying here. Somebody's doing somebody a favor. This smells of Jeremy Fowler telling Drew Petzing's agent, by the way, nothing against you, Drew, telling Drew Petzing, hey, listen, you did me a solid last month by giving me the contract information on blah, blah, blah. I'll do you a solid too. Let's get Drew Petzing's name into the coaching carousel where it does not belong as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, as far as I'm concerned. Now, want real ones? Kellen Moore is a real one. There'd be some weird irony here. It was Mike McCarthy who gently nudged Kellen Moore out of here because McCarthy wanted to call his own plays, understandably. Kellen Moore to replace Mike McCarthy? I'll just tell you this about Kellen Moore. And by the way, he's doing a bang-up job in Philadelphia. He will get, in terms of his intelligence, football and otherwise, he will get a thumbs up from every single person in that building. Now, is he a leader of men? What kind of impression does he make when he stands up in front of the room? All that stuff, room of players. But smartest guy in the room is a real deal. The Cowboys it would be football malpractice to not interview Kellen Moore, at least to pick his brain, but maybe to even very seriously consider hiring him. And here's the scoop of the day. And we've written about this at cowboyscountry.com, so you can read more about it there. Robert Saleh will be a Cowboy consideration, the fired Jets coach. And all I'm able to pin down is that he will be a consideration. And I want to be open-minded enough to say, it didn't work for him as a head coach in New York. He took a 3-win team and they started winning 7. But their defense worked. The Jets defense this year, maybe an exception. Jets defense for 3 years, really good under his umbrella. What else does Robert Saleh have? Well, he's not 70, not 60. That's rather attractive. He is a fine cut of a man. I like the cut of his jib. But does he have those two components? I'm told by an NFL source that Robert Saleh will be a consideration. I wonder if it would be as head coach and or defensive coordinator. Again, this is all based on McCarthy not being here. Is also based on Mike Zimmer not being automatically back here. These are all one-year contracts. I don't know if I want Robert Saleh as my head coach. I want to interview him, and I bet they're going to interview him. And by the time you get done picking his brain, you might walk away saying, that's my defensive coordinator. He's been a head coach in the NFL. He's been a wildly successful defensive coordinator in the NFL. So we got that. One of the two components, we got that one covered. What about the other one? Is there a Cowboy coaching tree tie of any sort? And again, the reason, that's why I keep bringing up Lincoln Riley. as the college coach who might get an interview. He's part of the Cowboys family. He's friends with Steven. Yes, Robert Saleh, in addition to being a theoretical Shanahan buster, he coached under Shanahan. That was his head coach when he was coming up in San Francisco and becoming defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator for the 49ers team that manhandled the Cowboys, right? Who knows the Shanahan system better from a defensive perspective than that guy? One of the reasons Zimmer was hired here is because of that. Hey, he can stop a Shanahan. He has a history. He can stop a Shanahan offense. I bet you Robert Saleh can stop it even better. But in the 1 year when he crossed paths with somebody with a Cowboy connection, the Legion of Boom won a Super Bowl in Seattle. Yes, Robert Saleh is a protege of Dan Quinn. And Dan Quinn, if you ask the Joneses, belongs on their Cowboy family tree. There is a connection with Kellen. There is a connection with Saleh. There is no connection to the two ESPN names that until now you probably never even heard of. Let's have a great weekend here. I appreciate you being a part of the Fish family. Stay warm and go read yourself some cowboyscountry.com. Fish at 6, straight dope.